After a man's car was damaged in a hit and run, he discovered a detailed note left by a sixth grader. But before we start, please give the video a like and make sure to subscribe to WonderBot and hit the bell so you'll never miss any uploads from us. Unfortunately, drivers sometimes find that their vehicles have been damaged through no fault of their own. And Andrew Sipowicz has been one of them, as he discovered in November 2018 that his parked red Ford Mustang had been involved in a hit-and-run incident. However, while Sipowicz was assessing what had happened to his car, he found a handwritten note by a sixth grader. A resident of Buffalo, New York, Sipowicz had grown up harboring a passion for one sport in particular, baseball. And in his younger years, he'd impressed as a pitcher for his high school team before going on to play at college level. When it came to higher education, moreover, Sipowicz had applied for a place at Buffalo's Canisius College. The institution, so named in honor of Dutch teacher St. Peter Canisius, was first established back in 1870. And initially, the college had started out in one building. It's gradually expanded, though. In fact, Canisius now boasts over 30 buildings on its campus. And thankfully for Sipowicz, he'd get to explore the Canisius grounds after the institution accepted his application. Even so, the Buffalo native had yet another dream that he wanted to realize. You see, Sipowicz had always wanted to own a Ford Mustang, a vehicle that he had fantasized about as a kid. And ahead of his college move, the student wanted to buy a car for himself, a desire that had caught the attention of his dad, John. So at that point, Sipowicz's father made his son an intriguing deal. To wit, John said that he would help pay for the car if the student's tuition fees ate up most of his scholarship funds. However, Sipowicz may not have predicted what would happen next. Yes, a surprise greeted the student after he had returned home one day. Sitting in the garage was a 2012 Ford Mustang, a present from his parents. And after learning that the car belonged to him, the New York native had become overcome with emotion, he later revealed. Then, following his admittance to Canisius, Sipowicz had joined the college baseball team and subsequently moved into an apartment with some of his teammates. And together, they enjoyed a lot of success on the field. The Golden Griffins even emerged victorious during the 2018 Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference baseball tournament. However, Sipowicz was dealt an unfortunate blow one afternoon in November 2018. While traveling down a road close to his apartment, one of the student's roommates, Andrew Sipowicz, caught a glimpse of something that set alarm bells ringing. He saw a school bus loitering very near to the red Mustang. Understandably concerned for his friend's beloved car, Sipowicz then snapped a photo of the scene on his phone. After that, he sent the image to Sipowicz, who quickly responded. And from there, the baseball player asked his roommate to grab the bus driver's attention in an attempt to find out what was happening. As a result, Sipowicz approached the bus and engaged in a conversation with the female driver. She insisted, however, that her vehicle hadn't hit Sipowicz's Mustang. Sipowicz then passed the information back to the student, and that put Sipowicz's mind at ease. Despite those reassurances, though, Sipowicz wanted to check the car over himself. So he duly headed over to the Mustang, knowing that he needed to move it anyway due to the area's parking rules. But upon seeing the vehicle, he received a shock. There was a significant dent on the left side of the car, just above the headlights. Not only that, but some of the paintwork around the dent had been scratched off. And by that point, the culprit had already left, leaving the owner of the vehicle in a difficult spot. However, Sipowicz then found a handwritten note left on the Mustang that explained exactly what happened to the car. And as an act of gratitude, the student would later post a photo of the message to his Twitter page. "If you're wondering what happened to your car, bus 449 hit it," said the note. "It stops here every day to drop me off at 5 p.m. From there, the writer had penned the subheading that read, "What happened?" after which they described the incident in full. "The school bus driver was trying to pull off and hit the car," the missive continued. "She hit and ran. She tried to veer over and squeeze through, but couldn't. The driver then actually squeezed through. She made a dent, and I saw what happened. Sorry." But that wasn't it, as the letter also provided a detailed description of the bus driver's seat number, the name of the bus, and a hand-drawn picture of the vehicle itself. "The bus that hit your car," the author had appropriately scribbled above the artist's rendition. When it came to the identity of the note writer, though, Sipowicz had been left none the wiser. You see, instead of revealing their identity, the author had simply signed a sixth grader at Houghton Academy. Regardless, that didn't stop Sipowicz from praising the individual. "Shout out to the anonymous sixth grader for saving me a couple $1,000s," Sipowicz wrote alongside the photo of the letter. Bust not drawn to scale. And in time, the baseball player's post would make waves across the internet. Indeed, Sipowicz's tweet ultimately went viral, and it has since earned over 1.2 million likes and over 260,000 retweets on the social media website. The post generated over 4,000 comments too, with several Twitter users choosing to hail the sixth grader's actions. And as the story continued to grow in popularity, one of the author's teachers caught a glimpse of the note. After having discerned the identity of the student through her penmanship, the teacher contacted Sipowicz and provided him with some information about the sixth grade girl. "Me and my family are so grateful," the student told BBC News in November 2018 after he discovered the name of the author. "We want to reward the girl somehow." Sipowicz had planned to visit Houghton Academy after the Thanksgiving break. By that point, however, the girl had already been rewarded by one of her teachers. "Proud teacher moment." Nick Kaiser wrote on Twitter in November 2018, "One of my students wasn't afraid to be a snitch and did the good deed. No Thanksgiving homework." Meanwhile, Houghton Academy's vice principal revealed that the student in question would be handed a special citizenship award for her outstanding leadership. And a spokeswoman for Buffalo Public Schools also praised the youngster's conduct. In November 2018, she said to ABC affiliate WKBW, "Kudos to the sixth grader. We always tell our students if they see something, say something." Sipowicz was still keen to meet the girl, however, and he would explain why in November 2018 interview with the BBC. "I just want to thank her so much for being so courageous and doing the right thing when it would have been easier to go home and forget the whole thing," he said. In the meantime, Sipowicz was able to contact school bus company First Student thanks to the sixth grader's information. And upon learning what had happened to Sipowicz's Mustang, a representative then offered the student an apology and a few promises. The company also released a statement on the matter to WKBW. "Yesterday, First Student jumped into action, and we met with Sipowicz to review the damage," the statement read. "We will cover the full cost of repair and the loaner. We try to do the right thing in every instance." After that, the company went on to condemn their driver's actions that day. "The driver did not follow their training, and that's clear," the statement continued. "We take that very seriously. The actions of the driver are contrary to what we train our drivers to do." From there, First Student then praised the young girl for speaking up before revealing the driver's ultimate fate. "We're very impressed by the sixth grader and her actions. We're also in the process of terminating the driver based on the incident," the company explained. Meanwhile, as Sipowicz's story continued to gain traction on social media, someone else decided to share a very similar tale of their own. Twitter user Dima had responded to Sipowicz's tweet after she'd experienced a tough moment the previous week. Her vehicle, too, had been damaged in a hit-and-run accident, and Dima had also received a note, although in this case it was from someone who had called themselves a good neighbor. "Hello," read the letter. "I was sitting on my balcony and saw a guy hit your car. Indian Eastern descent, black hair, wearing glasses. He parked elsewhere and ran across the street," it continued. "Your left rear is damaged. He drives a gray Hyundai Elantra. Go get him." After sharing a picture of that note on her Twitter account, Dima then replied to Sipowicz. "Shout out to all the people that see other people do hit and runs and leave detailed notes," she wrote the accompanying message. "This was left on my car last week." Unlike the unfortunate college student, though, Dima had quickly realized that she knew the culprit personally. "The person that hit my car was a coworker," the Twitter user added. "That was a fun conversation the next day." And Dima's post found a large audience on social media too. Indeed, Dima's tweet would ultimately receive close to 10,000 likes and nearly 450 retweets on the social media platform. However, Dima and Sipowicz aren't the first people to have shared photos of notes left on their cars after bumps. In an incident similar to Dima's, the owner of a Toyota Yaris had received a note from a concerned citizen. "We saw the jackass who hit your left side of your car with his pickup truck," read the letter, which was shared on the website Ranker. "He was trying to park behind you, but he's an idiot. He took off without leaving his info, so here's his plate number. Happy hunting." But not everyone who's done damage to someone else's car is quite so courteous, as another motorist once found out. "Yeah, so I hit your car," the anonymous message they found said. "Somebody saw me do it, therefore I'm writing this note to make it look like I'm writing down my info. Sorry." It didn't end there, though, as the mocking letter continued. Yeah, the writer added, "Blah, blah, blah, blah. They're still watching me. Oh, they're gone. Later. P.S. My bad." Thankfully for Sipowicz, he had someone altogether more helpful on his side when his Mustang was hit, and in the end he managed to come face to face with his sixth-grade hero. After that encounter, Sipowicz went back on Twitter to talk about it before sharing some interesting news with his followers. "I was able to meet the brave sixth-grader on Tuesday and thanked her for what she did," he wrote. "The mother of the student who left the note has created a GoFundMe." It turns out that the young girl is an aspiring artist, in fact, and so her mom, Takara Lewis, is looking to secure her future. "As a child, my daughter's been taught that right is right and wrong is wrong," Lewis wrote on the crowdfunding website. "This fund will help towards an art scholarship to an arts institution. It will teach our communities that by doing what's right comes reward," Lewis added. "Using freedom of expression, we'll educate our children across the nation in doing what's right, even when no one's watching, through art." And Lewis's daughter had certainly reaped the rewards from her good deeds, thanks in part to Sipowicz.